We all know Tic Tac Toe. It's that game that always ends in a draw. Three Men's Morris is just like Tic Tac Toe, but better. It has more strategy, so it's less likely to end in a draw, and it's still pretty quick to play. In this video, we're going to be looking at how you can make a client-side version of this game using React. All of the code starts in this HTML file. This root div is where all of the content is in, and we call the script. This is the main JSX file. We simply import the rest of the app and some styles. There's not much going on here, so let's move on to the actual app. Here we import the app-specific CSS, which again is not much, just some basic styles. And now we have three game phases. The placement phase, which is where both players place their initial tokens. The movement phase, which is where they move those tokens around, which is why I like to call this game moving tic-tac-toe. And the game over phase, which is obviously when someone's lost, or the game ends in a draw. The rest of this is pretty self-explanatory, except this whole part here. This is just some initializing stuff. We set the board to be empty, we make it so that X goes first, we make it the placement phase, no one has placed any tokens yet, a bunch of other stuff. Setting the timer so there's 3 minutes for someone to win. The use effect hook here is just used for the timer. The idea is if no one has been able to win after 3 minutes of playing, we just call it a draw. This is all we check for a winner. It's just a clean way of determining if someone's won without having a bunch of if statements. We basically just look over and see if any of these lines have been made. If not, obviously no one's won yet. This is how we show what are the valid moves. Generally speaking, in the moving phase, you can move orthogonally and always to the center, and from the center you can move anywhere, as you can see in this array. And this is the part where we say from the center you can move to any unoccupied place, and you can always move to the center as long as it's unoccupied, of course. That's all the time. Whenever you click on a square, if the game hasn't started, we make it started. If someone's won, we just do nothing. If it's in the placement phase, we place whoever's turn's token it is there. And if it's in the movement phase, we simply check. You have to first click on the piece you want to move, and then the square you want to move the piece to. Obviously, we have to check for the winner every so often. We don't want the game to keep going after someone's already won. The rest of these are so that when you want to reset the game by making a new game, again, we set everything back to its initial state. Same with resetting counters. I'll show the counters later on when we actually play. Obviously, we need to format the timer. And this is where we have to return the HTML, because obviously, without the HTML, we won't be able to see anything. This is just the headline of the entire game. This shows whose turn it is, if anyone's won, are we in the placement or movement phase, how many tokens of X are on their board, how many O tokens are on the board, so on. How many times is X won, how many times O is won, the buttons, the rules. Then we have to export the app. Now let's see what the result of all of this React is. This is the final result. Notice how we have all of it styled. So it tells us what phase we're in, the current player, the amount of time remaining. Obviously the game hasn't started yet, so it won't start counting yet. All the rules are at the bottom if anyone wants to read those. Now, at the start, it's just like regular tic-tac-toe. Both players will inevitably place some pieces. Once both players have placed their first 3 tokens, you'll notice how, again, 3 of them are O, 3 of them are X, and 3 of them are empty. Once this starts, instead of continuing and creating a draw, we'll instead move into the movement phase, and notice how the time has been ticking ever since I placed the first piece. It's X's turn, so instead of placing another token, X has to take one of their existing tokens and move it orthogonally. Let's say X moves it here, because they don't want O to win next turn. It's O's turn, and now, once again, you can move orthogonally. This piece can't move anywhere. This piece can move here only. However, there's a special rule. When you're at the center, you can move anywhere, so as long as it's not occupied, so O can move here if they want. Eventually, either it'll end in a draw, or one of the players might be able to form three in a row and win. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this React video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and see you next time.